My wife wants me to turn down a job offer that would give me an 80K raise because an ex from 14 years ago works there. Is this a normal request? So, I, 36M, work in the tech field, and our research area is very niche. I had issues with my current company and started interviewing at different companies. At one of the companies, I ran into an ex, let's call her Abby, who I dated 14 years ago. We dated for 3 years and broke up amicably because I wanted to pursue further studies, and she wanted me to settle down. I met my wife a year after our breakup, and I was still friends with occasional benefits with Abby until then. I was upfront about the whole situation with my wife, and she told me early on during our dating that my friendship with Abby bothered her. I loved my wife and was serious about us, and it was a no-brainer for me to stop hanging out with Abby. Abby was confused but understood why I did it. We have not spoken to each other since then. My wife and I have been married for 11 years now and have one super cute toddler. During the interview process, Abby was one of the interviewers, and we had a nice professional discussion. I received a job offer from that company the very next week. I would be in middle management, and Abby would be directly reporting to me. I have already informed the hiring manager about Abby, and they seem to have no problems with it. I also have 2 more job offers. I negotiated with all the companies, and the first company, the one where Abby works, is willing to pay me almost 80K more than the other companies. However, my wife reminded me that I promised her many years ago that I would not be in touch with Abby. She is asking me to take the offer from the company willing to offer the second highest compensation. Her reasoning is that it would be awkward for me to be Abby's manager, and since we both work in the same field, it is not like I can transfer her to another manager. She insists that it's not insecurity but that I made a promise. She says that it's ultimately my choice, but she does not feel comfortable with me managing Abby and working with her. I see her side, as I would have to travel with my team, including Abby, for a few days to an on-site location at least once a month. I can see why it would make my wife nervous. I personally want to join the first company as the compensation is higher and the experience would be very valuable to me. Would I be wrong if I decided to go with the first company? It would offer my family a lot of financial security and be good for my career. I do not want that taken away because of Abby. At the same time, I want my wife to be comfortable and not constantly worried about the situation I will be putting her in. Commenter. Is Abby married with kids? You say the brief interaction was professional, but you don't really know Abby's viewpoint or motives here. Your wife is clearly insecure, but she may have good reason to be. I can't tell whether you're full of it or not. This is factually a great setup for you to cheat. I think only you really know whether you are being sketchy, but your wife's reaction is well within normal. My wife did all the investigative work and found out that Abby is divorced and has no kids. That was one of the reasons why she was a bit apprehensive about me taking the job as well. Update 1. I wanted to give a quick update. I posted a week ago about being confused over a job offer that my wife wanted me to reject because my ex, Abby, would be directly reporting to me. I know many of you pointed out why it is such a bad idea, but I want to be honest here. The reason I wrote the post was to get ideas on how I could convince my wife that I should take the position. I felt that I have never given my wife a reason not to trust me, except one time, which is a long story that I won't get into here, and I should not be making important life decisions that benefit my family because of Abby, whom I have not spoken to in 14 years. On Friday evening, we had a long discussion as our kid was at my sister-in-law's place for a playdate. As many of you pointed out, my wife might be insecure with me hanging out with Abby specifically because we were friends with benefits after our breakup. I asked her about it and told her to be honest as I would never make a decision without her being 100% on board. My wife said that out of all my ex-girlfriends, she felt a bit insecure about Abby. The reason was because I did not have a clean breakup with her and had lingering feelings even when I met my wife. For context, when I met my wife through mutual friends, I was still hooking up with Abby for a few months after. However, I cleared things with Abby and broke up for good before I asked my wife on our first date. My wife had heard about how I was not able to get over Abby before that and only agreed to date me after I told her that I had decided to go no contact with Abby. I asked my wife if she feels I will be less loyal to her if I am around Abby. My wife and child are everything to me, and I assured her that there is no circumstance where I would even think of stepping out of line and risking that. I also assured her that I will maintain professional boundaries with each of my direct reports, as I have been doing for many years, and Abby will be no different. However, if I miss out on this job opportunity because of Abby, I will always feel like, irrespective of what I do, my wife does not trust me 100%. My wife said that she trusts me completely and does not want me to feel like I am doing something wrong. She said she does not want hypothetical scenarios to affect the important decisions I make in my career and is okay with me accepting the offer. She asked me to make sure that we set up specific rules about Abby, such as no communication outside of work, maintaining strictly professional communication, and always over-communicating with my wife about everything related to Abby. Abby messaged me on Saturday about how it was great to see me during the interview process, and I immediately told my wife. Based on her idea, I replied to Abby on LinkedIn and will make sure any of our communication stays there. I had until Monday to accept the offer. Yesterday, when I went to my office, I was planning to call the other company during lunchtime. However, my manager asked me to come to a meeting room to discuss something urgent. My current company knew that I was entertaining other offers, as I had told them previously, and decided to match the offer from Abby's company. It is not exactly the same compensation, but it is only 20K less than their offer. Plus, they also assured me that they would promote me as soon as a director level position opens up in one of the teams. It was amazing, and I called my wife. She was very happy, and of course, I decided to stay at my current job. Overall, I feel happy that I got a big raise at my current place and also know that my wife is not insecure and trusts me 100%. Edit. Since a lot of people are asking what the one thing was, I'm adding it here instead of replying individually. It was stupid. Years ago, my wife's friend told me we kissed while drunk, and I did not tell my wife. Her friend thought I was her husband and apologized a lot. I told my wife a few days later out of guilt. My wife had seen the whole incident and laughed because I drunkenly pushed her away after she tried to kiss me, which I do not remember. But that was about it. She still teases me and her friend about it to this day. Commenter. Never ever take a counteroffer. There's a reason 80% of people who take counteroffers are gone after 6 months, and 90% after 12 months. The issues you were originally looking to address are still there, and your company now knows you're willing to leave. They will attempt to replace you and just want you there in the meantime. Never take a counteroffer.